Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Steve Kerr gives critical Steph Curry update after 2 missed games. The Golden State Warriors had been on quite a tear since acquiring Jimmy Butler. In fact, there weren't many teams in the NBA who were hotter than they were. But superstar point guard Stephen Curry was injured in a game against the Toronto Raptors last Thursday. He hurt his tailbone after falling to the floor attempting a layup. The Warriors have dropped both games in Curry's absence, the first being a 9-point loss to the Atlanta Hawks, followed by a blowout loss to the Miami Heat. As a result, the Warriors have fallen to the number 7 spot after the Los Angeles Clippers tied them in the standings at 41-31, with Los Angeles holding the tiebreaker. Curry's return can't come fast enough, as the Warriors' offense has ranked dead last in the NBA without Curry, compared to having the 6th best offense with him in the lineup. According to The Athletic's Anthony Slater, Curry seems to be progressing toward a return sooner rather than later. Steph Curry went through a 6-minute team scrimmage today in New Orleans. He is about to do an individual workout. Warriors will list him as questionable tomorrow at Pelicans, but Steve Kerr said he remains optimistic Curry will return, reported Slater. Steph Curry went through a 6-minute team scrimmage today in New Orleans. He is about to do an individual workout. Warriors will list him as questionable tomorrow at Pelicans, but Steve Kerr said he remains optimistic Curry will return. While the acquisition of Butler has been a crucial one, the fact of the matter is that the team doesn't have enough offensive firepower, particularly shooting threats, without the 2x MVP. The last thing a team with as many veterans as the Warriors, who are pivotal to the team's success, needs is to have to play extra games in the NBA play-in tournament. They'll have to overtake the Clippers while also fighting off the Minnesota Timberwolves, which sit just a half game behind the Warriors. With 10 games remaining in the regular season, the Warriors have time to get Curry back and into a groove to get the team back to its winning ways before the playoffs start. Why Gary Payton II's injury is such a huge hit to the Warriors, who can only hope his absence is a short one. The Golden State Warriors are getting hit with some tough injuries at a bad time as they have lost 2 straight and fallen into the play-in tournament with 10 games to play. They've been without Stephen Curry for these last 2 losses after he suffered a pelvic contusion, and just when Curry is expected back on Friday in New Orleans, news broke on Thursday that Gary Payton II is out indefinitely with a torn ligament in his left thumb. The Warriors will of course take this trade-off, Curry for Payton, but the latter is arguably the biggest loss Golden State could suffer at this point of the season outside of its 3 stars Curry, Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. And the most worrisome part is nobody's sure how long Payton will be out. If we're going full optimist, Payton is set to be re-evaluated in a week and would be able to return soon thereafter. ESPN is calling it a pain tolerance injury once this initial week off passes. That sounds better than a grade 2 or 3 tear, which would lead to significant missed time for Payton. But it's still vague. Pain tolerance isn't just about being tough. There's a performance aspect to it. And if you're still of the impression that Payton is mostly a defensive player who can better withstand a shooting hand injury, you're mistaken. Payton is a crucial two-way player for the Warriors, who rely on him not just to pester their opponent's best perimeter player but also to be an elite cutting and capable shooting cog in the ever-turning wheel that is their offense. He's been a double-digit scorer on 46% three-point shooting this month, and he's made 43% of his threes since January 1st. Payton is often the three-point outlet defenses dare to beat them as they devote multiple defenders to Curry and rotate to bigger threats. It makes sense statistically, but he has a way of burning defenses with timely shots. Energy. Physical, above-the-rim finishing. Passing. Payton brings a little bit of everything, and is playing 21 minutes a game in March. Warriors coach Steve Kerr says Jonathan Kuminga, recently back from his own extended injury absence, will take on Payton's role of guarding the opponent's best player, but he's a guy the Warriors need more offense from. Pressing guys full court and generally devoting the amount of energy Payton does to defense is going to tax Kuminga, as it would anyone. Hopefully it won't be for long, because Payton has long graduated from the fringe NBA player he once was. He is a legitimately irreplaceable player for these Warriors. He's often the fuel for their big runs, creating havoc on the defensive end and filling lanes in transition. You hear the description winning player a lot, and Payton epitomizes the high compliment. This season, every Warriors lineup that includes Payton and has played at least 50 non-garbage possessions together is basically killing opponents to the tune of a plus 24.4 point differential per 100 possessions, per cleaning the glass. That's not an accident. Outside of Curry, Green and Butler, no player is more often involved in good things for the Warriors than Payton. If they're rolling, chances are Payton is on the floor and right in the middle of the action. It won't be easy without him. All the Warriors can hope is that he won't be out for long, because their margin for error to rise above the play-in line is 0. And if they make it to a first-round series, if this is still an issue in the playoffs, whether Payton is out or even back at a reduced level, Golden State becomes a lot less threatening as a contender. Sources: Warriors Gary Payton II out indefinitely with brutal thumb injury. Golden State Warriors swingman Gary Payton II is out indefinitely after being diagnosed with a torn left thumb ligament, league sources told Clutch Points on Thursday afternoon. Payton sustained the injury in the team's 112-86 loss to the Miami Heat on Tuesday. Although no clear timetable has been presented, the Warriors announced Thursday afternoon that Payton will be re-evaluated in 1 week. He will continue to undergo evaluations and his potential return will be based on pain tolerance, sources said. Since the start of March, Payton has been an essential part of Steve Kerr's nightly rotations. Over his last 11 games, Payton has averaged 11.5 points and 4.0 rebounds per game while shooting 64.3% from the floor and 46.4% from three-point range. He has also seen over 20 minutes in 8 of his last 11 games. This is a significant blow to the Warriors' rotation, especially with the regular season nearing its end and the team battling for playoff position in the Western Conference standings. After winning 16 out of 19 games, Golden State has lost 2 straight games on the road to the Atlanta Hawks and Heat. It is worth noting that Stephen Curry was unavailable for both of these losses, as he is recovering from a pelvic contusion he suffered in the team's last win against the Toronto Raptors on March 20. The Warriors are optimistic that Curry will be ready to return on Friday on the road against the New Orleans Pelicans. These back-to-back losses have resulted in the Dubs moving to 41-31, and they are now tied with the LA Clippers for the 6th best record in the conference. The Clippers defeated the Warriors in all 3 matchups this season, giving them the season tiebreaker and momentarily pushing Golden State into the play-in region of the standings with 10 games remaining. Payton has endured several injuries throughout the 2024-25 season, recently suffering a non-displaced nasal fracture that has resulted in the 32-year-old wearing a face mask over his last 9 games. Whether in the starting lineup or coming off the bench, Payton has asserted himself as one of the main driving forces behind the Warriors' success. He ranks 5th on the team in scoring and has the highest net rating, min 10 games played, since the start of March. Defensively, Payton has often been tasked with guarding the opposition's best player. While he is only listed at 6'2", Payton plays well above his height. As a result, Kerr and the Warriors utilize him in different ways, sometimes even having him be their small ball center when Draymond Green or others are out of the game. His offensive rebounding and ability to create second-chance scoring opportunities make the Warriors' offense more deadly than it already is with Curry. There is real concern that Gary Payton II will miss the remaining 10 games on Golden State's schedule due to this thumb injury. Further updates will be provided by the Warriors at a later time. And you, fan? What do you think about Gary Payton's situation? Write to us in the comments.